This is like such new territory.
The new school year is upon us, and it will be a far cry from years past.
From how your child learns,
this will be the most challenging year we've ever faced in public education,
to what campuses will look like when students return.
There'll be 6-foot tapes and paints on the sidewalk with arrows.
WPTV is committed to helping you and your children get back to school safely.
Everybody's scared. They're nervous, and they want to know that they're going to be safe.
No matter if it's distance learning or in-person learning, parents, students, teachers, and school staff want the best for everyone.
We're blazing a new trail. We know that this is new for everybody. We may not have all the answers, but we're problem solving, trying to make sure that we're doing the right thing for everybody.
Hello and welcome to our WPTV Back to School special. I'm Ashley Walters. I'm here at Jensen Beach High School. Well, students will soon return to the classroom for the first time in 5 months.
And I'm Mike Trem outside Verde K-8 school here in Boca Raton. You can see them working on the signs and everything behind me. That's because this school, built brand new, is an existing school, but still not clear when students will be able to see it in person for the first time.
Yeah, so we want to help you overcome the challenges and prepare you for the school year ahead. This back to school season is not the same as any year past. Up until just a few weeks ago, no one knew exactly when or how the students would learn. So during the next hour, we'll take you inside schools to show you what campuses look like. We also spoke with school leaders about the protocol in case anyone at the school tests positive. And we'll share your stories about how the community is coming together to make sure no student is left behind. We'll also help you with your back to school shopping and the best ways to save money.
Let's first start with the plans for each district. Like I said a minute ago, no students will be returning to this school, and Palm Beach County going virtual only, starting the year with distance learning. To Martin County, where classes begin on Tuesday. Families, they have two options, either traditional in-classroom learning or virtual learning using the same schedule as if you were in the building. St. Lucie, Indian River, and Okeechobee County districts gave families three options each: the in-class learning option, distance learning option, and online that doesn't follow an in-person schedule. Each district presented the plan to the state to be approved, and you can read those plans on our website, WPTV.com. Just go to that back to school section.
Now, staff at every school in our area worked very hard through the summer to reconfigure the campus for everyone's safety. And in Martin County, right here where I'm standing, more than 60% of students will arrive to campuses on Tuesday for a traditional learning format. Behind me here at Jensen Beach High School, the staff looked at every part of the students' day to find some ways for increased sanitation and social distancing measures. Treasure Coast reporter Megan McRoberts shows us these changes.
We can't wait to welcome our children back into the building.
Preparing the school for students has been a task like no other, but Jensen Beach principal Lori Vogel says they'll be ready.
There'll be 6-foot tapes and paints on the sidewalk with arrows.
This is a student's first stop where staff checks their ID.
This is the next stop. They come in the door. We already have the tape for social distancing down.
And students will head right outside to grab breakfast.
I greet them, good morning, good morning, good morning. I double check IDs and faces and make sure they're mine.
This is where breakfast will be served in additional carts, spread out while students wait for the first bell.
We had 2 before, but now we have 4.
They'll be expected to continue keeping their distance.
How do you make sure kids aren't grouping up even as they're walking to class?
We have lots of staff on duty in the morning.
They'll find arrows showing them a one-way route.
So you can see that we've already started the arrows.
All the way to their building.
So everyone will go this way.
Then once inside, the arrows guide students in one way to their class.
All the traffic in this hallway will go to the north side of the building.
Laid out so students can get nearly anywhere in the school within 3 to 4 minutes, while passing COVID safety reminder signs throughout the hallways. Once in their class,
this room is totally measured out.
Desks will no longer be grouped together.
No, they would probably be in squares of 4 or 6.
Instead, spread out and facing forward.
If everyone's facing forward, they're not going to get the germs from the person behind them.
With no more than 25 desks in any room, unlikely to all be needed.
I anticipate probably 8 to 9 kids being missing in every class.
Each room will have a sanitation bucket, and while sanitation can't be guaranteed between each class, Vogel says students can sanitize their own desks.
Clorox wipes, hand sanitizer, spray for the desks, wipes for computers, and gloves for whatever they might need.
Now let's say it's lunchtime. There are more one-way arrows guiding them outside.
We're going to have tables with umbrellas all spread out so the kids can social distance outside here. Cafeteria carts spread out all over this courtyard. We're going to spread everybody out as far as we can.
And when weather takes a turn.
If there's heavy rain, we have a gymnasium, we have an auditorium lobby, a gym lobby, and the cafeteria.
There will be more hand washing stations and sanitizers here too. And if they're in the cafeteria, that will also have a much lower capacity.
We're not anticipating more than 100 or 150 in here, if that. We're going to encourage everyone we can to eat outside.
Vogel says she feels ready to help children feel safe and excited about coming back.
Megan McRoberts, WPTV News Channel 5.
Well, even with all of these changes in place, as you've probably considered, it's still possible for a staff member or a student to test positive for COVID-19.
So what is the protocol if that happens? WPTV News Channel 5's Ryan Hughes looks into new policies that are being put into place in St. Lucie County.
This will be the most challenging year we've ever faced in public education.
School districts on the Treasure Coast are preparing to head back into the classroom, but the coronavirus crisis is not only causing concern, but a host of challenges.
Everybody's scared. They're nervous, and they want to know that they're going to be safe and that they're not going to bring stuff home to their family.
Sandy Roan has been a behavioral tech for 15 years, helping exceptional special education students. She's set to return to Fort Pierce Central High School in August.
I know it's better for them to be with us. I know that a lot of them need the one-on-one, but is it worth their lives?
One of her worries, if a student or staff member tests positive. The St. Lucie Public Schools superintendent telling us there is now a protocol, and the district would take the lead from the health department.
Was an entire classroom exposed? Was it just an isolated, all of those questions we would rely on the health department as well as our own contingency plans that we have in place for that.
This flowchart shows St. Lucie County's response to a case in school. The health department will do contact tracing, determine who else will need to be tested and isolated or quarantined for 14 days. And that person can only return to class when there are no symptoms.
When you're in high school, and middle school, that's going to be a nightmare trying to do that contact tracing. Kids want to go back to school because they want to go back to normal. It's not going to be normal when we go back.
Cleaning, of course, has also been increased. And in Martin County, anyone within 6 feet for at least 15 minutes of someone who does test positive will have to quarantine until it's safe to return to school. Ryan Hughes, WPTV, News Channel 5.
So this one is likely top of your mind. If somebody does test positive for COVID-19 somewhere in your district, will you actually know about it? Our Holly Davis is back in the studio with the answer.
We asked the Department of Education if there would be a statewide plan for outbreak reporting. In a statement, they told us they were giving general guidance to districts, but ultimately leaving it up to them. The Florida Department of Health has sample letters that districts plan to send to parents if a child is exposed to a positive case. It reads, the student needs to quarantine for 14 days and seek medical attention if symptoms develop. But it's still not clear if the public as a whole will be notified. One Florida Democratic state representative says she will push to have this information released.
We're not asking for individual medical information. We're asking for aggregate data that can allow parents, teachers, and students to be informed.
The Florida Department of Health says it is still discussing if there's a plan to publish school outbreak data similar to how they handle cases in long-term care facilities and prisons. Mike?
Well, if there is an outbreak, how will districts trace cases on campus? Our Contact 5 investigators, they have been reporting on the challenges and struggles of the state's contact tracing system on everyday cases. Our Katie Legrone takes a look at what will be different within the walls of schools this year.
Contact tracing. Experts call it critical to stopping the spread of COVID-19.
We've got to be on it like this.
In Florida, the practice of tracing the virus from person to person has had its challenges.
I still haven't gotten a phone call.
The young lady who called, she wasn't knowledgeable at all.
But with the reopening of schools prompting concerns about case spikes, contact tracing on campus remains a work in progress.
In terms of challenges, it's just another place to go do contact tracing, really.
Pinellas County currently has 100 tracers. While additional hires may be necessary once schools reopen, the process of tracing students will largely be accomplished with adults, according to the county health department.
We would talk to teachers and parents and responsible adults. I mean, we wouldn't do contact tracing with a 6-year-old.
Across the state, 4,400 tracers are now on the job, with some counties ramping up rosters before the school bell rings. Lee County plans to add 78 people to help trace. St. Lucie County is in the process of hiring an additional 20.
It's in combination of school opening in the next several weeks, as well as just managing our regular caseload.
Health departments will lead tracing efforts for schools, and while younger patients may pose challenges on the Q&A, health officials fear the lack of rapid results will pose the biggest challenge for tracers trying to contain an outbreak on campus.
The sooner that we are aware of a positive case, the quicker that we can reach out.
But doctors, critical of the state's plan to reopen schools, remain concerned.
The state already doesn't have enough contact tracers in general without a school reopening.
County health departments are using CARES Act funding for these new hires and have until the end of the year to use it. Katie LeGrone, WPTV News Channel 5. Districts have promised to be better with distance learning, and parents are doing the same. The social network a local mom created to help families overcome those homeschooling hurdles.
Quit your job or leave your kids home alone.
Most parents are back to work, so can you legally leave your child home alone if they can't go to school? Plus, the federal help that is soon running out.